Evening, everyone. Sorry it's been so long since I've done an episode of Nerds of the North for you. A lot of problems going on with work. You know, it's event season. I work for a private school, and we do a lot of caterings. It's Christmas time. We're bound to be busy. Anyways, this episode for today is my remembrance, my thoughts on Robert Jordan's The Dragon Reborn, Book 3 of the Wheel of Time series. Now, a lot of stuff happens in this book. We get to meet a lot of newer characters, and characters that are going to be with us for a long time. Julian Sandar is going to be around for a long time. Eludra is going to be there for quite a while. We do briefly get to meet Bail Doman, and I believe we also touch on the we touch on the Shanshan girl. I can't remember what her original name is. She ends up becoming Lyle Wynn Shipless near the end. Or near the end of the Wheel of Time, I should say. But what sticks into my head about the Dragon Reborn? This is kind of an interesting book to be told. We have Rand has already been proclaimed the Dragon Reborn, but he has not proclaimed himself. He's allowed Moraine to proclaim him, and hasn't really shut anybody up about proclaiming him the Dragon Reborn after the events of the Great Hunt. All this time, he's getting dreams and images of Kalandor, and just what is it, and what has he got to go and do. And Kalandor is a huge piece for the Dragon Reborn. It definitely comes back in later on in the series as well. But what sticks in my head here? Aside from the epicness of, pardon me, trying to remember the scene here. Aside from the epicness of the breaking of the Stone of Tyr, getting into the Stone of Tyr, a lot of the chase that goes on between Moraine and them trying to find Rand is really well done. They're getting tailed by Darkhounds a lot of the way, and you don't really know that until when they actually reach Ilion. Because it's in Ilion where they settle down into a bar, into a tavern to have lunch, or have dinner, sorry. And here comes three guys in that, they're just completely ordinary. But gray men are designed so that your eyes will pass right by them. Doesn't really stop Perrin's nose. He can smell the evil on them. And he ends up alerting them right before they show up. Pardon me. Right before they get into place to start killing everybody, and throws the tray of food at him, stands up, rips his chair in half, and starts flailing about him with the club. That stops the Grey Men. You find outside that there's the Darkhounds there, because you've seen dog prints placed into stone before in the book. But this is the first time that you actually get to see exactly, or find out exactly what they're for. It's always really fun listening to the Perrin side of the story, especially after they get to Jareen, I believe the city is, where Perrin releases Gaul from the cage. Gaul is, of course, an Aiel. One of the major Aiel warriors that you're always going to be seeing around, because he spends a lot of time with Perrin. Partly because Gaul owes Perrin a blood oath, because Perrin set him free for no reason, no request for reward or anything. And when you escape from Jareen, after the involvement with Gaul and then the fight with the White Cloaks, you get to meet Faile, who doesn't call herself Faile at first. Calls herself Mondarb, which is hilarious, because Mondarb means, as she puts it, Mondarb means sword, and that's the perfect name for a hunter of the horn. Until you realize that the big black warhorse over there is called Mondarb. So you named yourself after a horse, girl. Good job. It's at that point she reveals that her name is actually Zareen. She hates that name, so she requests to be called Fail. And Perrin fights with her the entire time to try and they're just bicker back and forth the entire time frame. It's hilarious. The best part about that I've seen is when they just get into they got into a shouting match on the boat, and one of them spoke the words Aes Sedai. And they're in a boat that's full of Tyrans, and you don't really want to reveal the fact that you're an Aes Sedai. That was quite funny. And then when they're trying to escape from somewhere, I don't remember exactly where they're escaping. They escape from a lot of places. They just keep coming in at the bad times. But it's, I think when they get to Tyr, and Perrin lets slip, it's like, what do they want with Matt? Like, the Horn of Valyr's already been sounded. And Moraine just turns and glares at Fael and is like, you are bound to us now. You're not allowed to leave anymore. Just so funny. So many points you're just like, oh man, that was really great. Just having to deal with, because Perrin doesn't know how to deal with this. He's got a girl that's hitting on him and he doesn't know how to handle it. And then you get the entire scene at the end where Perrin is having to run through the wolf dream repeatedly to hunt down Fael because she's been triggered and caught in a trap. That was really good. I really like seeing that. I liked the story with Matt and Tom. It's ironic, Mac's trying to find Nynaeve, Elaine, and Egwene, and he walks right by them the moment he gets to Tyr. Just whoop, sidesteps completely past them. That was awesome. The dealing with finding the guy that was going to kill them and seeing Matt's luck play out against the dice. Seeing Matt play with the fireworks and pretty much creating dynamite to blow a hole in a wall so he can get into the stone. The luck that goes on, like he just so happens to, I'm going to spin my staff behind me and thunk. Oh, look, I took out a High Lord. Stuff like that was really funny to see. It's a good book overall. It's got a great battle at the end. One Forsaken dies to Moraine wielding balefire. And Baalzamon gets taken down again. This time by Rand, after Rand finally does wield Kalandor. It's also when you get to learn about the Aiel. You learn a lot about the Aiel in this. You learn a lot more later on, but this is where we first meet Aviendha. We've met Gaul. And they're traveling along with each other, so you're really getting to see two of the Aiel people that we're really going to be with. We meet Bane and Chiad as well. And sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time in my memory here, but I think I've kind of stepped over into Shadow Rising right now, so my memory, I know I'm listening to Shadow Rising right now, so my memory is full of Shadow Rising, and it's not full of Dragon Reborn anymore. But yeah, Dragon Reborn, great book, some fantastically memorable scenes. Really learning how to use Tel'aran'rhiod, because that plays a big part. And as I said, all the stuff gets better as you get further on into the books. But we're starting to meet some really pivotal characters. I do like the whole interplay between Perrin and Fael. We get some nice interplay with Loial. And at the very end, you get Rand proclaiming, "I am the Dragon Reborn." So that's it. It's over. No false dragons will be spinning out of the pattern. If you notice, at the same time, Mazrim Taim gets captured because Rand has now proclaimed himself the dragon. The pattern now no longer is demanding a dragon; it has its dragon. That Rand's gotten pretty good with that Sword of Fire. That's a pretty awesome looking weapon. But yeah, this is just going to be a short little vid, so enjoy. I did manage to go out this weekend and pick up something special, and you'll be seeing it for the Shadow Rising review. It's part of a cosplay costume I'm going to be doing, so you'll see that in the next vid. So take care, everybody. Talk to you next time when we reach the Shadow Rising.